Hi there, I'm pedaling on my bike as we speak. Hope it's not making a distracting noise. Well, I'll test it and find out. Anyway, on today's segment of I Hate Pot, we're going to talk about stuff that's related but a distant relative to our subject, because we're going to get into all kinds of subjects. Relationships between parents and children and themselves, us and ourselves, us and each other, just myriad things, because believe it or not, there is a connection. Sometimes the connection will sound a little labored, but hopefully the conversations will be worthy. And of course, I'd love to hear from you. So it's been discovered that statistically, there's a lot of pharmaceutical comforting that goes on. In other words, drug use and abuse in people whose lives have been affected by adoption and by other forms of creation and family that are not just your run-of-the-mill, kind of two people, they fall in love, they get together, they have babies. And it's wonderful that these fields are opened up the way that they are. It's absolutely fantastic, and we've only seen the beginning. And of course, listen, there's drug use everywhere. But there are issues that if you get a bunch of people together who've been affected by these aspects of life, that, there's some commonality. And there's also different ways of looking at it and different ways of feeling about it. But there is a lot of, even before the legalization of cannabis, there's been a lot of pot smoking among people whom I think of as being the original and in a lot of ways most important victims of identity theft. I don't think there's in the Constitution or any other Bill of Rights anything written about the right to our identity and the violation of the right to our identity. But if you are a person who has parents who are unfit, biological parents, and you are fortunate enough to find good people who embrace and love you, or if you are created with a parent or both parents being anonymous and unknown to you, the truth is often you are given the right to get to know these people with whom you have a genetic connection. And in some cases, you are not given this right. A lot of decisions that we make about our children, we make based on our rights. We forget that in a very short number of years, a short percentage of their lifetime, they are their own people. We choose their name. You often hear terms like molding and raising. We choose so many things. And what about the people that we're making these choices for? Where do they get to weigh in? And in some of these issues, I really feel strongly that they deserve a right to all aspects of their identity. And that includes the neutrality, a certain level of neutrality in terms of input. Like, here's the world. Who are you? I believe, as does Jan Hunt from the Natural Child Project, as does Alice Miller, in taking our cues from our kids, first ask, what do you think of this? I'll always be interested in who your kids are and let them be interested in who they are. And so when it comes to their identity, their biological identity, I feel they have a right to that information. And that's about them. It's not about us as their parents. It's about them forever. And this is an important issue, and it's growing to be a more and more important issue because it's more and more common that we are able to create human beings with whose lives start off as a pile of secrets. And we say about relationships need to be based on honesty and transparency. What about this one? We prosecute identity theft. what about the original identity theft? I just feel that people have a right to their identity, and I wonder if some of this going numb may have to do with the frustration and despair that goes along with not being afforded the right to know who you are. It's New Year's Day, 2019, and it seems perhaps a fitting thought. Thank you so much.